Peter Winnick here, and today my guest is Andy Paul. Andy is the founder and author of Zero Time Selling, one of the top 3 sales and marketing books for 2011. And the essence of a lot of what Andy talks about is the importance of speed in the selling process, and does it in a way that's kind of counterintuitive, but incredibly insightful. You like getting to know, and you like getting there quickly.
Yeah,
kind of an unsales-like
That's right.
kind of thing, but
right.
Tell me how to get rejected and how to get rejected quickly. Sounds like my dating life.
Yeah, well, maybe you should read the book before you go on the next date. So, I talk about in the book is the importance of disqualifying the losers, right?
Okay.
And so, I think there's this unhealthy infatuation with the size of a prospect pipeline, right? It's an easy metric that a sales manager can use to be, a sales manager is often judged on themselves by their higher-ups, and the sales manager also uses to judge their salespeople. And the fact is, the pipeline can be full of fluff, and the salespeople can continue to work it and waste their time, which is a very limited resource, as we know, on deals that are never going to close. So I think as a salesperson and a sales manager, what your responsibility is to weed out the fluff as quickly as you can.
But if I'm a sales guy and my sales manager is the type that loves to see the fluff, I mean, he's going to reinforce this behavior that's silly, right? So if I'm going to kind of eliminate that front end of the pipeline and not want to get reprimanded, I should probably have that conversation with him and say, listen.
Well, so here's what's going to happen. If you get rid of the fluff, if you're a decent salesperson, and if you get rid of the fluff, what should be the result is you work more and the prospects are actually going to close, right? So I was once asked by a salesperson, how many prospects should I have in order to make my quota? And I said, well, without being facetious about it, I said, well, you need exactly the number you need to make quota and not one more. And theoretically, that's really what you should have, right? If you need to have 5 deals to make quota, then you should have 5 prospects, because they should be prospects that are qualified to buy what you have. So qualification, quite simply, right, is sort of this preliminary agreement between you and the customer that the customer is prepared to pay you X amount of money for their perception of the value you're going to provide, right? Now that still has to be proven out, but that is what a qualification is that what their perception of the value you're going to provide, they're willing to pay X amount of money. So you have to have that conversation pretty early on.
But a lot of salespeople are trained to say, hey, show them you've got the value, they'll find the money, or it's inappropriate to have the money conversation early, or, I mean, the worst sales training I've ever seen is you ask the question, are you the decision maker? No one has ever gotten up and say,
right.
No, I'm not. I need to talk to 3 other people.
Right. But here's the distinction. You're not asking if they have the budget. No, you're only asking if they agree that the value you're going to provide is worth X amount of money.
Got it. Okay?
Because studies have come out, and some recent studies have shown that, at least in the business-to-business space, that the number is roughly about 19%. Only about 19% of purchases were budgeted at the beginning of the year.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So most business-to-business stuff is happening is people find something they're interested in, a need comes up, they justify the purchase, right? But it's not necessarily budgeted at the beginning. So the budget question.
So the conversation isn't really a budget question. It's showing that they know that if you're selling X, that X is worth price Y.
Yeah.
Whether they budgeted that or not, that's not really.
They think the value you provide is worth X, right? And so, if you qualify a customer to that, if you can't qualify a customer to that, then you need to kick them out proactively.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So what I like to think is that you as a salesperson, you're like the bouncer at the head of the velvet line, right? Rope and enter into a club.
Big guy, no neck.
Big guy, no neck. And in one of my presentations, I use a slide that shows a guy, and at the front of the club, I call it the pipeline club. Okay. Right. So you are the bouncer at the entrance to the pipeline club. You're just not going to let everybody in. In fact, you're only going to let.
I mean, that's so counterintuitive because most salespeople are taught, come on in, come. I want to fill up that club with warm bodies, and you're saying you're kind of creating the velvet rope, the exclusive clubs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not everybody's people have to qualify to get into my club, right? And so, as a salesperson, you really want to be selling to fewer prospects, right? Mm-hmm. Because the more attention you can provide to your prospects, the more value you can create for them, the odds that you're going to win the deal are higher, right?
So you're going bottle service, VIP, to a handful of clients versus
theoretically,
a Heineken off a tap.
Right, theoretically that's true. Okay. That's what you want to try to achieve.
Right.
Because I think that one of the worst things that could happen is, and I blogged about this, and I got a lot of feedback on it, which was, a lot of people didn't agree with me. But I will contend that you can't get a price objection from a qualified prospect.
Right, by definition.
Right? By definition, you can't get it because they've already said, It's not that they love your price, but they've already said that they think the value you're providing is worth X amount of money.
Got it.
Now, that won't be the last price discussion because everybody negotiates, right?
Right.
It won't be the last price discussion, but you set the bar at a certain level and hopefully at a high level for them. So I think that, if you get objections, and too often what happens, you see all this literature about how do you handle price objections. Well, to me, you get a price objection, you haven't qualified the prospect.
Got it. So disqualify them early.
Disqualify the losers.
Disqualify
The losers are just going to suck time out of you, and there's lots of reasons why prospects don't want to let go of you as well, right? Because sometimes they may have a mandate that they have to get multiple bids,
Right.
or they've
But you're not in the information business, you're in the selling business.
Right, they've got an incumbent vendor, and they want to use you as leverage to negotiate a better deal with them.
Yep.
What you got to do is you got to be ruthless. It's your time, it's your business, your future at stake. If you don't get rid of those people, there's a boat anchor going to drag you down.
Great. Thanks so much. Andy Paul, author and founder of Zero Time Selling. Thank you so much.